Hey everybody, welcome to another new game review overview thingy on the Let's Play Leak. I'm John as always, and today we're going to be taking a look at Big Pharma. Big Pharma is a game that just recently came into beta. It's not even on Steam yet in early access. It's one of those games where you have to go, really old school about it and go to their website and pay for it and download it from there. It will be on Steam probably fairly shortly in early access, but it's available right now, and it's one of my kind of games. Boy, is it one of my kind of games. It's relatively simple at its absolute base, and extraordinarily complicated when you get into it. So what this new game review overview thingy is going to be is me going through the tutorial with you, showing you how the game works mechanically. And yeah, let's jump right on into it. So here's our first tutorial level, and our goal here is to supply one painkiller treatment. The goals of the actual game is going to be a little bit more difficult from that. But this is our production facility as it stands right now. We can zoom out, we can move around, and that's all there's going to be in this tutorial level. There's no ability to buy extra spots, but we can later on. So we have to supply a painkiller, and that's going to require that we import an ingredient. And we have one here ready to go, effervescent jack-ear distillate. And it has two sort of traits at the moment. It induces nausea, which is bad, and it's a painkiller, which is good. And you can see it has these graphs here, these spots. It's currently at concentration level number 4, which is outside of the red on induces nausea, which means it doesn't induce nausea. It's outside of the green as well in painkiller, which means it's not a painkiller. This is a sugar pill at the moment. It does nothing. If we up the concentration by 1, it will become a painkiller. That will become active, because you can see here that it's active at 5 to 12. If we do put it up to 5, the induced nausea won't be active yet, because it's 6 to 14. So that's good. We can have a pill that is just a painkiller with no side effect. If we were to go higher concentration, we would start inducing nausea, which would be bad. But we'll get into why you might raise that a little bit later. So we have this here that is automatically importing this specific ingredient for us. First thing we can do is build a conveyor belt. And so every day, the conveyor belt is going to move one little space. So it's going to move one space, and that's all we have built so far, and it's going to pull out one of these. We have a whole bunch of devices, currently 2. We have the dissolver, which decreases the concentration by 1, and the evaporator, which increases the concentration by 1. Well, we only need to pump this ingredient up by 1 for us to have the pill that we need. So we're going to take an evaporator, and here it is. The green is where you want to put stuff in, and the red is where it's going to come out. You can rotate it by 90 degrees by hitting Q and E, or by using the scroll wheel. So we're going to pop that in there, and that effervescent jack-ear distillate is going to go in, and it's going to come back out. Let's build a belt for it. And it's changed. It's now quartzite crystals, and it's a concentration of 5. You can see painkiller is now lit up. So that's awesome. We now have a painkiller good to go. The only other thing we need to do is make a pill. This is just crystals at the moment. So we're going to plop down a pill printer here. We're going to take a belt, put it in, get a belt coming out, and that's our production facility. It's going to take that distillate in, increase the concentration by 1, activating the painkiller effect. It's going to put it through a pill printer. Out comes that pill. The pill is then going to get shipped out to those people who need their painkillers, and we get to name it. I just like the default names usually, so our product is Tutorialis Pain Zapper. We'll name it, and that's the tutorial complete. That's the basics of the game. You're going to be taking ingredients and increasing the concentration, decreasing the concentration in order to make them the pill that you want to sell. Ideally with the least steps possible, because then you make the most profit. But we're going to jump on to tutorial 2 now. Alright, so here we are at tutorial 2, and here we're going to learn about upgrading ingredients, about getting extra effects out of them, getting new effects out of them. So we have to supply one eases migraine treatment in order to complete this one. So we got a new tab here. We can actually see the ingredients that are available to us. Currently we have 1, the effervescent jack-ear distillate. Eventually we will have ones that we can go off and explore and research in order to bring back to the labs to build stuff. But the important thing that we're going to look at is by hovering over painkiller. And so here we have a little bit of information that tells us that if we get this drug to a concentration of 7 to 10, and then pass it through an evaporator, it'll upgrade. it will no longer be a painkiller. It will morph or transform or upgrade into easing migraines. So we need to get this from 4, where it's at originally, up to 7 for us to turn on the painkiller. So what do we need to do? Well, we need to build a production line. We need to build a whole bunch of these evaporators. So we're going to blow up the stuff that we have, and we get money back for blowing that up. So this is 4. When it comes to the evaporator, it is 5. So we want to make another one, and that will bring us up to 6. So let's put it here maybe. So that'll bring us up to 6. This one will bring us up to 7. And then we have to put it through another one for the upgrade to happen. So I think that should do it. Let's build our belts like that, like that, like that, and one coming out of here. And we can speed up time with the double arrows here. It'll go twice as fast. I would like a little bit of a faster speed, but it's fine for now. So here we go. Let's actually pause. Let's pause. There we go. So we have a concentration level 7 painkiller. You can see it does induce nausea now because we're into the red range. It's going to come into this one at concentration 7, and it's going to go up to 8. But because it's within that range that we saw, so we hover over here, because it's within that 7 to 10 range, and we're putting it through an evaporator, it will turn into a migraine treating pill. So if we speed time back up, out of that evaporator comes some realatonin quartz, which we can see now eases migraine. So that's awesome. So if we wanted to, we could then throw this through a whole bunch of, what are they called? Dissolvers to, whoops, I'm pressing too many buttons. We could put this through a series of dissolvers to get us back to concentration 5, which would get rid of the side effect. But of course, we'd have to throw it through 1, 2, 3. We'd have to throw it through 3 of those. And each one of those is going to cost us another $10. And so our profit's going to go from 124 to 94. So we're going to make less money. So this is kind of where the bulk of the game comes in, is how much do you spend on processing to get rid of side effects while losing profit? And, you know, it's a delicate balance. But we're going to build up our pill printers again, and we're going to send these off, and that will not work there, will it? So let's destroy that one. Wait, have I built myself into a corner here? No, I haven't. So that's good. But I would if I put that there. You can double click to pick up machines as well. So we'll put that one there. We'll drag our belt down, not crossing that because we're going to need to be there again. So this is an ugly belt, but there we go. Sure, that works. And then we can drag this back up to here and then have it connect there. Man, this is ugly. And then we need to destroy that. All right, I think I've built myself into a corner here. Let me see if I can fix this up proper like. So I don't want that. I want that to go there, and then I want that to just leave. All right, we're gonna have to pull this down another one. So who needs a tutorial? I need a tutorial. All right, so we put the pill printer down here, way down here. We waste a whole bunch of space. And that's the other big part of this game, is maximizing your space, making sure that you're not wasting too much space. I just built what I just built before, didn't I? There we go. It worked that time though, so whatever. So we can speed up our time. And are we paused? Why aren't things moving? Why aren't you moving here? All right, let's blow it up. Let's pop it down. I'm super confused right now. Super confused right now. You're going in here, right? Are you coming out of here? Huh. I'm not sure what's happening. Let's pick that up and put it back down. Can anybody see what's happening? Can anybody help me? feel like an evaporator is turned off or something. Anybody? Any help? Anybody? No? Are we paused? There we go. Stuff's moving. I have no idea what was happening there. If I didn't mention, this game is in beta. There may be bugs. So, you know, be aware of that. But that's the first problem I've experienced so far. I'm not sure what's happening here. Why it won't go down that belt? Why won't it go down that belt? Well, there we go. Now it looks like it's moving. Are you actually moving for goodsies here? Alright, it's moving for goodsies. So then we pop that one there. And this entire belt isn't... Okay, there we go. Now it's moving. There we go! So, a brief little problem there. Possibly a glitch. Possibly I just completely didn't see what was happening there. And I spoke far too soon. It looks like there's something happening with these extra bits, which are annoying because I haven't really figured out how to remove them without just blowing up the entire conveyor belt. But there we go. Our pill has finally made it to market. What's it called? It's called the Tutorial's Headache Beater. So yeah, that's how you upgrade a pill. We're gonna just continue adding stuff onto this. As you can see, it's relatively simple, but it's gonna get more and more and more complex as we go. But we're gonna jump on to tutorial number 3 now. Alright, here we are for tutorial number 3, and I realized one of the problems with my last lab is I didn't expand. I forgot that was part of that tutorial. There are plots out here that you can buy to give you more space, and you can see this one has 2 import-export locations. So this is the lab that the computer built for me last tutorial. It's much nicer than mine was. But this mission is treating angina, so we're going to need to make a single angina treatment. So how do we do that? Well, we go to ingredients, and we say, hey, effervescent jack ear distillate, what do you do? Well, you ease migraine, but you don't do anything else. So we need to find a new ingredient that hopefully treats angina. And, well, we have an undiscovered dragon beetle down here. So we can go explore that. So what we can do is we can hire an explorer. And the explorers are going to cost us 50 bucks a day. And they're going to generate ingredient upgrades, which will make our ingredients cost less if they're just sitting around. But we're not going to have this guy just sit around. We're going to have him go and find that dragon beetle. So we assign him to that ingredient, and this little percentage here is going to start going up. And that's going to eventually discover us this ingredient, which will allow us to import it into our factory and find out what it does, of course. So while he's investigating that, we're going to check out research as well. There is a tech tree to this game. So we've started with basic exploration, which allows us to explore. Basic Pharma, which will unlock everything, as well as the evaporator, the dissolver, and the ionizer, and the pill printer. But we need the ionizer, for some reason, that we'll see in a little bit. So what does the ionizer do? Well, over here on the right, you can see that it decreases the concentration by 3. So it does exactly what 3 dissolvers would do in a single machine. It's much more efficient than the dissolver is. So scientists work exactly like the explorers do. You hire them. If they're idle, they'll give you upgrade points, which will make the machines cheaper for each step they do. So here you can see the evaporator costs 10 per evaporation, but if we upgrade it with an upgrade point, it would cost $9. So we're going to assign this guy to the ionizer, and just like the explorer, we're going to get a percentage that's going to start going up for us to discover that. How's our explorer doing? Well, he's at 83%. We're about to find that. But one quick little thing that I can show you is that everything's backed up. See, every single spot here is taken up by something. And that's because the pill printers actually take 2 days to produce a pill. Every other machine takes 1 day to do whatever it does. Every conveyor belt takes 1 day, but the pill printer takes 2. So it's a good idea to build a second pill printer. So we can pop a pill printer down here in tandem with it, make a little branch here, and pop it in here. And so now we have 2 pill printers that take 2 days to produce pills, but with 2 paths going in, we're going to keep everything kind of moving because they're going to, take the equivalent of 1 day. So we got a little message up here saying that the ingredient was discovered. So we can take a look at that, and we can say that we found malleable yambutan juice, which narrows the pupils and relieves hypertension. But if we upgrade it, it will treat angina, and that's what we want to do. To upgrade it, it needs to be 0 to 6 concentration, and we need to throw it through an ionizer, which, good news, we just researched. We have the ionizer available now. So what we're going to do is we're going to import this new ingredient from here. So we click on it, and we say, hey, we want this one to be bringing in malleable yambutan juice. And let's get a belt on there. Now, obviously, we're going to need some space as well as a place to export the pills. So we're going to buy this extra spot here, and there we go. We've got a place that we can export it to. So, malleable yambutan juice, we need to get it down 2 concentration points and then shove it through an ionizer. So, the easiest way for this to be done would be to put down an ionizer and take it down by 3. Because it doesn't have to be 6, it could be 5 for us to have it in the upgradable range. And then if we throw it through another ionizer, we should end up with a drug that treats angina. So we can actually click on these things and it'll show us the pills coming in, or the ingredients coming in, and what it's doing. So the next day happens. Oh, sorry, the next day won't happen. Never mind. I was building up for something that won't happen because our production line is full. But this would disappear and we'd get the new one in and we would see it decrease it down to 5. So this one here has been upgraded. It now treats angina. But because we decreased it so much, it's outside of the treats angina concentration level. So we need to get it back up to 6, which means we need to increase it by 4 levels. Well, all we have is the evaporator, so we need 4 evaporators. Let's go 1, and then let's go 2, and then let's go 3, and then 4, and that should get us to where we need to go. And we'll build our belts like that and that and that, and that should result in us having an angina treating drug that I think will still induce nausea, or whatever the side effect was. Was it narrow pupils? Yes, it will narrow the pupils, but it will treat their angina. Narrowed pupils, less heart pain, probably pretty good. So there we go. We've got the pill that, or we've got the ingredient that we need. We need to put it into pill printers, of course. And I'll do the standard double pill printer here. Build some belts to it. And yeah, wonder why it's not working again. There's got to be something that I'm not quite noticing. And I think it has to do with those end junctions. I think if they exist, your pills just don't get produced, or your belts just don't go. Which is good to know, I suppose. But we're going to push these angina pills through. They're going to get sent out. We've made Tutorialis Angina Stompers. We're going to name those, and that will complete this tutorial. So we've only got a couple more to go, and we'll know all the basics there are to this game. Hopefully you've been following along. It's not that complicated once you go through it. But if I just jumped into a level and said, hey, here's this game, here's how it works, trust me, it would be complicated. But I'll see you for the next tutorial. Alright, so this one's a bit of a complex one. We're going to need to make anti-seizure treatments. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start in a completely new place. And I'm just going to buy these places just so we have a whole bunch of space. So we've got a new panel now. We've got the Cures panel. And this will show us all of the things that we can currently do with our cures. We've got categories: pain, blood, relaxants. And so we can see that if we have a painkiller, we can upgrade that with an evaporator. We've done that already to ease migraines. But we can then pass that eases migraines thing through an agglomerator, or whatever that is, to produce anti-seizure. However, it does require a catalyst. Now, a catalyst is a specific type of side effect that has a symbol beside it, and you need the matching symbol. So we needed the green catalyst, and we have shimmering pangsat pieces, which causes dizziness and is a catalyst side effect. So what we can do is we can mix some ingredients in order to produce this. And I'll show you how to do this, but the first thing we're going to need to do is create an eases migraine pill, and I'll do that very quickly right now. Alright, so there we go. We got a very simple machine path here that creates an eases migraine drug. Now we need to combine eases migraine with a catalyst with this at concentration level 15 to 18. So that means that we need to increase this 3 to 11, 3 to 14. So we need to increase this by 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop down an algalometer, and then we're going to drop down an algalometer. It's going to have to go this way. And then we're going to drop down an evaporator. And that should get us to the incredibly high concentration that we are required to have in order to get this started. And I guess I need to connect that belt, don't I? There we go. And then destroy that belt because we learned our lesson. Don't have extra pathways branching up. So while that's going through, we're going to need to get our next ingredient up. So we need to bring this stuff in because we have to combine it with a certain mixture, as it were. So we're going to need to import that. Whoops, wrong button. We're going to import that through here. So now we have the shimmering whatever they were pieces coming in through here. There they are. And here we have this, which no longer does anything, but it's concentration 15, which is where we need it. So what we have to do is get a catalyst in here. So we have a new machine called the multi-mixer. You can see here it takes 2 inputs and makes an output. So we will put an input into here of that one, and an input from here of that one, and it will produce something for us. And let me actually open this up for you. So you see right now it has induces nausea and eases migraine as 1/2 of the mixture. And right now we're going to get this next one in. Antihistamine, increases blood pressure, causes dizziness. And what it does is it takes the base drug, which you can set, and it combines it with the drug that you're putting in. And it sort of overwrites the side effects and the treatments that the drugs do. So if we go to the ingredients, you see there are 4 slots. This one uses the bottom 2 slots. This one uses slot number 2 and slot number 4. This one uses slot 1, 2, 3. So we're combining the pieces as the base with the Jack Ear distillate as the thing that we're adding onto. So antihistamine slots in because it's blank. Increases blood pressure slots in because it's blank. Induces nausea can be overwritten because this is the base. So it's overwriting it with our catalyst that we need, and painkiller it stays there because it's not being overwritten by anything. And so we end up with a mixture, where is it? Here it is, that is an antihistamine that increases blood pressure, that causes dizziness, that eases migraine, which means this now has everything we need, except it's not at the right concentration. That may have been a mistake on my part, actually. Maybe I should have done that a little bit differently. So we're going to need to up this concentration again, back up to 15 to 18. So we need to build a couple more of these doodads here. So we'll build one there, we'll build one there, and I think that'll bring us up to 15. So let's pop that in there, bring that out of here. So it's going to come in at 12, it's going to go up to 15, and we need to pass it through one more because that's what the upgrade requires, an agglomerator, or whatever it is called. So we can pop it through here, bring it out here, and we should have our eases migraine mixture. I have a feeling that, yeah, because I had that as the base, it's putting it to 9 as the base concentration. So I didn't actually need to build all of these extra concentration increasers here beforehand. I should have just built them afterwards. But now we're left with the anti-seizure drug. It does in fact do anti-seizure. We just need to decrease it by 3. And we just happen to have a decrease by 3 machine, the ionizer. Do we have space to build a pill producer? Well, what we can do is actually just have this machine feed directly into this machine, like that. And that maybe will give us room for a pill producer, I hope. Maybe. Let me see if I can finagle. Can I finagle? Not really. Not really at all. Oh, I can't finagle at all. What a pain. Or can I? I Can't really finagle at all. Well, since we don't need this stuff, let me just blow it up. And let's just send this as a direct path down to here. And that will solve our woes for the time being. So we'll pop that down there, bring it out, bring a path up and around, and that should produce us the pill that we need. So produce the pill, and we've got ourselves a an anti-seizure pill, which is what we needed to finish the level. So that's the mixture. Gets really, really, really complicated when you're trying to make sure that you're choosing the right base for which traits are going to overwrite which other traits in order to get these extra drugs. And of course, the upgraded drugs make more money, but you have to spend more by putting them through all these extra machines. So there's a trade-off of, do you want these awesome drugs that cost you more to make, which is going to be kind of the thing to do. But here we go. We've got the Tutorialis Seizure Soother, and we're going to produce that, and that completes this tutorial. Just a couple more to go, and we'll have this game down pat. Alright, so here we are for the last sort of main mechanic tutorial, the shaker. So we have a lab here that somebody set up, and they were trying to make a reduces anxiety treatment, which is our goal for this mission. So they were bringing in this, which has urinary retention, but more importantly is a blue catalyst. And they were sending in this, which alleviates insomnia, but if you upgrade it with a blue catalyst, surprise, surprise, and put it through a cryogenic condenser, then suddenly you get to reduce anxiety. However, let's go to the mixer and see what happens. Well, it's popping this in, and we need, we need the blue catalyst in order for it to work. But the blue catalyst is in the first slot, which is where alleviates insomnia is. And so it overwrites it, and the drug no longer relieves insomnia, which means that it no longer can be upgraded to reduce anxiety, and we're left with a sugar pill. It doesn't do anything. We're losing $253. But luckily, we have a machine to fix this. It's called the shaker. So let me blow up some paths here, and let's put down the shaker. So I'll put the shaker down, and then I'll kind of show you what it does. So it takes all of the traits of the pill and moves it down by 1. So urinary retention is going to go to number 2. And blank is going to go to number 3, blank is going to go to number 4, and blank will go to number 1. So it shifts everything down by 1. So if we pop down a belt, we're going to see that urinary retention is now number 2, which means when we go into the mixer, it'll have to get through some things, but there we go. Urinary retention takes slot number 2. It overwrites increases blood pressure instead of overwriting alleviates insomnia, which means that when it goes through the cryogenic condenser, it's going to turn into a reduces anxiety pill. There we go. And thankfully, this is already pre-built to have our concentration a couple of times. This is an advanced production facility that we'll see, one that halves the concentration. Instead of decreasing it by 1 or by 3, you just cut it right in half. And of course, there's one that increases it by half as well. So eventually those new pills are going to make it down here to the condenser, or not the condenser, the pill producer, the pill printer. I think it's this one here is going to go in, and then ta-da, we're going to have the new pill that reduces anxiety. So that's the shaker. So that's just one more mechanic added on to the whole idea of finagling those traits, of making sure that they are where you want before you mix them. And we named this the Tutorialis Anxiety Mate. Sounds like a personal data assistant or something. But that's it for that tutorial. There's one more to go, which is just going to cover over some basics of the game, some extra stuff that's on there, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here we are for the last little bit of this game. We've got our final tab unlocked. It's the company tab. It doesn't, it's not super important. It just gives you an overview of your company. In a real game, there would be enemy companies, and you could click on them and see what's going on with them. It shows us basically all of our pills that we're producing. We're producing these 5 pills and selling them. It gives us a cure rating of the pill. Obviously, the better the cure, the better bonus we get to our value. So these D minuses are actually giving us a minus 10% penalty. And the drug, or the cure rating is based on whether or not you're producing side effects, and how strong the side effects as well as the intended effect are. And we'll cover that in just a second. You can also see sold by month, the current value, the current profit, etc. And you can close those if you want. You'll also see all your cash flow stuff, your loan and interest, if you have taken out any loans, etc. Just a quick way to look over everything all at once. So I mentioned concentration strength, and we haven't really looked at it. So far it's been get the concentration to the right range to upgrade our things. But there is ideal concentrations, and we can discover those by building an analyzer. So we pop down an analyzer here, and it doesn't need to be that far away actually, so let me pick that up. Let me pick that up, I said. Let me pick... Alright, it blew up. It blew up. Let's place that a little bit closer. We just need like one belt. So the analyzer will take an ingredient and destroy it, but it will slowly give you some information. So we're going to bring in, let's just bring in our original effervescent jack-eared distillate. So we're going to import that. And it's going to go into the analyzer and be destroyed. And very quickly in this tutorial, much slower in the actual game, we're going to get some messages. And it's going to tell us the ideal, the max concentration level for the side effect and for the intended effect of this drug. So here we go. We got one message up here. So induces nausea. If it's at this purple square or rectangle, at this purple spot of concentration, it will be the strongest induction of nausea possible, which means that if we are going to have this side effect, we want it to be down here, or we want it to be up here. If we have it here, it's going to be the worst nausea-inducing drug ever. On the flip side, we now know the max concentration, the max strength concentration for the painkiller effect. If we have it right here, it will be the strongest painkiller effect possible, which is going to make it a better cure, which is going to generate us more money. We're going to have a better drug. Ours is going to outsell our competitors. So once you've got your drugs built up, you then want to analyze them and kind of figure out where they really should be to get the best possible drug out of it. But that's the analyzer. The last thing that we're going to look at in this tutorial is just those upgrade points that I talked about, the ingredient upgrade points. So you can see we have 8 right now. Our explorers have been busy. So what you can do is you can go to any of the upgrade buttons here, and it'll tell you what's going to happen. For all of them, it's going to give us a 10% discount. So we could throw it on here and get a 3.6 discount, throw it on here and get a 2.6 discount. You want to spend your upgrades on whichever ones cost the most or whichever ones you use the most. So we use an awful lot of effervescent jack-eared distillate, so we can upgrade it with a point. And then the second upgrade to get 20% costs 2 points, and then 4 points, and then 8 points. We can't afford that, of course. But that's the ingredient upgrades, pretty simple. And the research upgrades have the exact same thing. We have 8 of them, and you can hover over to see what happens. They're not the straight-up percentage discounts like they are in the ingredients. They are specific to the machine. So we could upgrade the dissolver to make it cost $1 less, upgrade that to make it cost $1 less, make that one cost $3 less. We can do whatever we want. Obviously, what you want to do is use your upgrade points on the machines that you use the most. So pill printer, pretty good choice. That's going to, be used in every single pill that you produce, regardless of if you're increasing or decreasing the concentration. And maybe we use a lot of dissolvers, and maybe we use a lot of evaporators, and maybe that. So that's the upgrade points. They're pretty simple. They just get produced by you having scientists or explorers doing nothing. Now, you're paying them. You are paying them $30 a day for scientists, and I believe 50? Yeah, 50 a day for explorers. That can cost you a lot. You may want to fire your explorers and your scientists now and then if you don't need those points. But if you can have them kicking around, they're going to help you out. They're going to get you discounts in the long run. And that's basically it. That's Big Pharma. The missions, I'll give you a quick overview of the missions here. You can see there's beginner, intermediate, advanced, quick start, and crippling debt. And they disappeared on me. There we go. Back to crippling debt. So you just go through and they'll have certain things that you need to meet. So earn a total revenue of $1 million within 10 years. Or supply 250 reduces anxiety treatments within 10 years. Or maybe you need to simultaneously supply 6 products treating different cures with a minimum cure rating across all products of B+. So as you can see, they get more and more complex. And you get less and less money, and the maps get bigger, and you get more competitors, and stuff happens. But that's Big Pharma. It's the kind of game that I love. I love these games where you build functioning machines. There's a game that I'll probably cover on this channel at some point called Factorio, which is like this, just infinitely more complex. There's so much more going on with that game. But it's just these sort of conveyor belt systems that I love building. I don't usually like puzzle games all that much, and this is definitely, at the end of the day, kind of a puzzle game. But because it just has that construction of almost circuitry, I really kind of like it. I like this style of puzzle. I can't recommend this more than enough to anybody who has a passing interest in these kinds of games. If you've heard of or played Factorio, this is just like Factorio. If you haven't, play Factorio, play this as well. It's definitely thoroughly enjoyable. I'll probably do Let's Plays of this at some point. I want to share this game for sure, and I'm very excited to see what comes in the beta and what this game looks like when it finally does come out. As I said, it's available right now at bigpharmagame.com in beta, not even on Steam yet. If you do pre-order it, if you do buy it, you get access to it right now, and when it comes out on Steam, you will get a Steam key. It will be activated on Steam for you. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, definitely let me know. You can find me on Twitter at the Let's Play Leak, and you can also find me on Facebook at facebook.com/the-let's-play-leak. You've already found me here on YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, there is the comment section below. I'd love to hear you there. If you ever have any suggestions for games to play or new games to check out, if you saw a game in a Steam Roulette and you really want to see me play that game in depth, maybe a full Let's Play of it, let me know. I love hearing feedback from you. I love taking ideas from the audience. Absolutely love it. Participation, fantastic. If you like the videos, you should click those little thumbs up icons. They will let me know that you like the videos. They'll let the world know that you like the videos, and they'll keep my videos rising up through the ranks. As well, you should subscribe to my channel. There's a subscribe button below each video and one in the outro of each video. That'll keep you up to date on all the latest Steam Roulettes, new game review overview thingies, Kerbal Space Program Let's Plays, and anything else that happens to pop up here or there. But as always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you all next time.